So today I want to share with you three skills that you likely already have if you work in hospitality and you are looking to become a virtual assistant and you're not sure how to take those skills that you have in the hospitality industry and really translate it into being a virtual assistant. Now, this is my experience in becoming a virtual assistant. I had for years worked in the hospitality industry, mostly being a front desk agent and a little bit of serving here and there. So when I discovered what a virtual assistant was, and I really wanted to take that path and build my own business and grow it, I had all this hospitality experience, but I did not really know how to translate that into becoming a virtual assistant. Even though being a front desk agent, it was very much administration work, I just didn't know how that was really going to translate into working from home as a virtual assistant. It felt so different to me, and I did not know. I was very confused and very lost, and I wasn't really assessing my skills and really looking at them very clearly and what skills I actually had in hospitality that could definitely translate into being a virtual assistant to sell myself and to make potential clients trust me. So it took me quite some time to make the connection and get confident in the skills that I had in hospitality and how I could translate that. I knew I already had more soft skills and just personality traits of being organized, resourceful, more process driven. I really liked making a process, following a process, making templates, and detail oriented. So I knew I already had those soft and personal skills, but I just didn't know how I could take what I learned and what I was good at more specifically in those hospitality roles and predominantly just my front desk role, and how I could translate that into being a virtual assistant. So that is why today I want to share with you three skills that you likely already have in your hospitality role that can easily translate into being a virtual assistant. The first skill that you likely already have, especially if you are working as a front desk agent like me, is you likely already have the skill of inventory management. So no matter the size of the hotel, there is always a set amount of rooms that you can sell each night. So it is very important, being a front desk agent or a reservation agent, or just being that person responsible for selling the rooms. It is crucial to not oversell your rooms for the night. Of course, there are strategies where sometimes it is better to oversell rooms because a certain percentage, yes, of people don't show up. However, in just kind of simple terms, you should not be overselling rooms. It is very important because once all the rooms are taken up, if you oversell by one or two people and they show up at 11 p.m., you have nowhere to put them for the night, and it's going to be a really big disservice to them. So you're going to have to walk them to another hotel, find them, and yeah, it's a big kerfuffle. So that is even though you're just a front desk agent, that is a really important responsibility to have. And that is a skill that you have already obtained in this job. Now, this can easily be translated into a virtual assistant role that is specifically helping, say, boutique hotels. And you can literally be doing the exact same thing, helping sell rooms and making sure that you're not overselling them. So it can just be a direct translation. There are definitely boutique hotels that are looking for more virtual assistants just to help here and there when they're not able to, say, maybe answer the phone or respond to booking inquiries online. Now, this could also translate to more restaurants and cafes, coffee shops, anybody selling kind of food or drinks. A lot of inventory management is done online now. So even though, yes, you physically need to be there to do your inventory checks, ideally once a week, even if it is once a month, to update those online. If it is regularly done, the inventory online should be pretty accurate. So if you are responsible as a virtual assistant helping a restaurant, cafe, or coffee shop, you will be helping them directly with their inventory management of supplies. So even though, yes, definitely a little bit different than checking in guests and making sure that you're not overselling the rooms that night or for the week or what have you, you can translate those in-person inventory management skills into helping those restaurant, cafe owners online with their supply inventory. Because helping them with their inventory supply, you are going to also be responsible, likely, for ordering new supplies for them. So making sure that they have enough cups or coffee for the month ahead and updating those accordingly in the online system. Making sure that there are enough rooms for everybody that has a reservation that night is just as important. Making sure that the cafe, the coffee shop has enough supplies to get them through the day or the week to sell their products. Another example of how your inventory management skills that you have from your hospitality work translate to being a virtual assistant. This is something that I have helped a lot of my virtual assistant clients with, managing their live or in-person or virtual programs. A lot of my clients do have a cap for their programs, oftentimes just to keep it small or intimate. Sometimes there is also pairing up in their program. So say it is a fitness or a coaching program. Oftentimes, a lot of my clients do only want to sell a certain number of spots. Their programs for various reasons. They often keep it small, I would say 15 or so people, sometimes 12. And sometimes these numbers do have to be even, say for 12 people, so everybody can pair off to have an accountability buddy or such. So that is, in a sense, if you are responsible for helping your client as a virtual assistant onboard, students into their program and making sure that you're not going over a cap, is in a sense inventory management. So of course, it's definitely a little bit different from hospitality of selling a room, but you are still ensuring that for your virtual assistant clients in their program, they are not going over a certain threshold and bringing in more students than they can possibly manage. Because some of these programs also are certifications. So there are maybe makeup artists online that sell a program and they're offering a certification. So they themselves, as the coach, the trainer, they need to do a lot of homework and marking and reviewing things. So oftentimes they do want to keep it small because they can only handle so much in approving these certifications. So it is very important for them that they're not going over their cap and their capacity in their programs. So the next skill you likely already have if you are in hospitality, and you have this skill in hospitality in practically almost any role, and that is customer service. So whether you are that front desk agent, a server, a reservation agent, even a host at a restaurant, maybe the back of house kitchen, you're probably not doing too much customer service. However, depending on the role or the restaurant that you are in, with some of these open kitchens, you're likely not interacting too much with the clients. Some of them are very interactive, where you're cooking almost in front of them. If it's more of a demonstration type restaurant, However, even with open kitchens, the back of house needs to keep their cool and composure. I know in the kitchen, it does get very heated sometimes and mistakes do happen. And although in those open kitchens, yes, you're probably not conversing directly with customers, it is in the sense you need to, like I said, keep your composure, keep your cool. And although it's not a performance, you do need to be professional. So that, in a sense, is in a way kind of customer service because you are giving off a good impression and professional impression while you are working in that role. So being in hospitality is predominantly customer service oriented. So this can easily translate into becoming a virtual assistant. It can easily translate this customer service skill set into being a virtual assistant. There are plenty of small business owners that need help answering phones, answering emails, answering booking requests and inquiries, whether it is by email, text, phone. And a lot of times these business owners just really don't have the time to answer some of the incoming inquiries that they have, and they can't answer them fully or to the best capability that they really want to. So they really need somebody with a customer service lens to answer their emails or texts that they get, one, very quickly for them, and two, with a bit more care that they can provide in giving these potential clients of theirs or even like brand deals that they have, giving them full and complete answers that possibly your client just cannot provide because they are so busy. In my experience, some of the clients that I have helped with my customer service background is for answering phone calls for a therapy office. They just were in session practically most of the day and simply could not answer the calls. They could not get back to voicemails as quickly as they would like, or be attentive. If they only had 5 minutes or 10 minutes in between sessions to answer a voicemail from a possible client that is inquiring and be able to call them back and give them the care and stay on the phone for maybe 10, 15 minutes, answering all their questions to make them feel comfortable and to give them the full answers that they deserved. They just did not have the time to do that. In between their sessions, they obviously had to maybe greet the other client, fill out some paperwork, go get a bite to eat, go to the washroom. They just did not have that time. So hiring on myself as a virtual assistant gave them time to stay present in their day-to-day with their own clients that were front-facing in front of them. And then I was able to help answer calls or respond to any voicemails with clear detail. And I could devote my time because I had the time to devote to that call on the phone and help answer all of their questions. I also use this skill with helping pretty much all of my clients with their inbox management. Some of my clients just simply don't have the time to answer all of their emails. They get quite a lot, ranging from client questions, potential client inquiries and bookings, brand deals, and just some other kind of system related actions that we need to take regularly. And they just simply do not have the time to action all of these things. So I can help as their virtual assistant with my customer service background to help manage the inbox, but also answer all of these emails fully and make sure that everybody is getting a response. Before I was working with this client, a lot of emails just went unanswered. It is best practice to try and, even if you're not interested in a potential collaboration with somebody or something like that, it is kind and best practice to respond to people. And it just was not happening, sadly, just because there were just so many emails. It was just so overwhelming. So hiring on a virtual assistant with a customer service background, I was able to take the skills that I already had answering emails for large hotels and all of their booking and apply it to her business to help her, get back to people in a timely manner and to give full detailed responses to those inquiring about signing up for their programs and to clients with inquiries of various things. And the last skill that you likely already have, if you are in hospitality, that can translate into being a virtual assistant, is quality assurance. Now, this is a skill I didn't really know that I had. I definitely didn't know that I had it before I really launched my virtual assistant business. And it probably took me a few years to even understand that once I was a virtual assistant, to really understand that I had this skill set. I know that I'm already naturally quite organized, detail oriented. I wouldn't say that I'm a perfectionist. However, I do like things in an orderly fashion. And I do try my best to get things done the way they should be. However, I didn't really realize from my background in hospitality, in both being a front desk agent and also in serving, there was always such a high standard of things that you had to meet, like your appearance, the certain things that you had to ask. Even in housekeeping, I actually did a very little bit of housekeeping while I was traveling. So that's very quality assurance heavy. And I already knew that from front desk agent, even though I wasn't making up the room. I obviously knew and heard complaints and had to deal with them if things weren't clean and all of that in the room. Same with even just like the common areas. And that as a front desk agent, you hear about all of the kind of cleanliness issues. And then even while I was traveling, working on that side for a very little bit, definitely there was always a high level of quality assurance. Things look a certain way, things are clean and tidy, that you are meeting brand standards and asking certain questions, especially upon check-in for the brand. And because especially in bigger hotel franchises, they want to give the same feel from hotel to hotel in that same chain. So the consistency is extremely important. And even in terms of serving, that quality assurance is prevalent through front and back of house. And especially you can see it at the front of house with tips. There is that monetary incentive. So in almost any hospitality role, there is that skill and experience in quality assurance in the service that you are selling. So this I didn't really understand translated to me being a virtual assistant. And like I said, it did take me a little bit of time, but I started to realize as I grew my clients and my skills as a virtual assistant that I was really concerned and making sure that when I was helping a client build out a virtual program of theirs where they're bringing students in, that student of theirs was having a good experience and that the client onboarding, their experience in the program was high level and of good quality. And you could argue that is just me being a slight perfectionist or just maybe being a kind person and caring about my client and their students. However, I do personally believe that there is that translation of quality assurance that I obtained in my hospitality and service roles, and it is being translated into what I do as a virtual assistant for my clients and their offerings. So these are just three skills of many that you likely could already have working in hospitality or possibly previous experience in hospitality that you can translate into being a virtual assistant. So there are definitely many other skills that you can already possess. This is just based on my experience. So inventory management, customer service, and quality assurance. But if you are looking at becoming a virtual and you have experience in hospitality, my suggestion is to start listing out things that you are responsible for in your current job in hospitality or previous duties, roles that you had, things that you did, and start picking out what skills you actually possess in those roles and see how it can translate or help other small business owners online.